Welcome back, adventurers. This week we're setting sail along the stunning north coast of Crete to uncover the chilling legends of Spinalonga Island, the leprosy colony for the whole of Greece. We'll dive deep into the island's gruesome history, driven by John's personal connection, his work at the leprosy hospital in Nepal, which draws him to Spinalonga's haunting past. Kick off your shoes and come barefoot with us. We are John and Ali, the Barefoot Doctors, sailing and travelling around the globe. Join us as we share the adventure and explore the beauty of the world, because life is better barefoot.
We leave Sitia on the north coast of Crete, going towards Agios Nicolas and then Spinalonga, because there is more storms forecast in 3 days' time. There are winds forecast for today, but tomorrow is calm.
It's pretty lumpy today.
This is pretty surprising, having such confused seas out here. It's a bit unusual to have northerly swells coming from the north when the storm that we had yesterday was coming from the south. So this must have been a different system that's created this swell, because it is quite big, 2 and sometimes peaking at 3 meters. So it's making the little crossing we've got today from Sitia to Agios Nicolas not what I was expecting, because the winds aren't particularly high. They're only 15 knots on the nose until we go around the point, and then we'll get the sails up. But what a rough sea.
And we are sailing! Woohoo! Should be no more cussing and swearing today.
Oh, nobody cusses and swears around here.
Not much.
There's no cussing and swearing, it's just prayers to the gods.
Which one?
Anyone that'll help. We're open-minded.
Beautiful little posse. But Agios Nikolas, wherever it's supposed to be said. Another big anchor and chain. Big mooring, big lines there. I don't know if it's anchors or... This big chain underneath us. Ropes and chains. Wow, fish. Some fish. Well, hi guys, we're on the move again, and we are heading for Spinalonga Bay, which is a bay that's protected from the westerlies because there's another blow coming in. What fun. And so we had a beautiful day yesterday, a lovely day, lovely morning, lovely beautiful day today, but we've decided to head for the anchorage out of the way while the winds were still soft, because it was about an hour away from where we were. And so we've had to run for cover again. The tricky thing about this anchorage is it goes down to about 3.5 meters as you enter the anchorage. So apparently that's a bit hairy, and there are a few rocks here and there. But once we get in, we should be okay. That's where we're heading. You wouldn't know that a 40+ not blows coming in tomorrow. But that's sailing for you guys. You've got to take the good with the not so good. So guys, this is the fortified castle on the hill at Spinalonga, and it's already getting shallow. So this is where it starts to drops down to about 3 or 3.5 meters. But it's pretty impressive fortified castle.
You make me all embarrassed. So presumably this is a Venetian castle that was protecting the bay because there's no other entry, and it's a very safe anchorage, and they probably hid all their warships in behind here, and this very narrow entrance they could protect very successfully. But we'll have to find out what the real story is.
Yeah. The water's getting lighter and I can see the bottom. I don't know if you guys can. And that's the protected anchorage that we're heading for. So it's protecting us against the westerlies that are blowing through. I think going to be about 40 knots plus apparently. Oh, looks, I mean, there are rocks down the bottom. There are rocks down the bottom. Okay, so we got to go and get our headphones so we don't have to yell at each other. They are fantastic. And I mean, they do call them marriage savers for a reason, because you're thinking you're getting yelled at, but you're not getting yelled at. That looks like the biggest cliff around here.
Yeah.
But this looks like it's protected well from that. It's a nice big cliff there. Nice big hill. Well guys, you wouldn't think we were storm-bound, but we are in Crete and there's supposed to be a big blow today, but I don't think it's as big as what they were making out it was going to be, or the gusts. We are still getting gusts of up to 30 knots I've seen, but we ended up doing some washing. So we thought, well, we'll put it out, it'll dry quick, and if it flaps about, we'll get it in. So, but this island here is called Spinalonga, and it used to be a leprosy colony, and so we're going to visit that tomorrow. It just looks such a beautiful view from the boat because we've got the blue sea and then the blue sky. Ta-da! Banana bread for my honey. Have a taste.
Moist, sweet, delicious, but not overly sweet, very banana-y, soft and fluffy. Absolutely delicious, honey. Thank you very much.
So thanks guys for following along with us. We really appreciate your support. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscriber button because we really don't want you to miss out on all the exciting stuff we have coming up, especially the build of our new Portofino 52 catamaran aluminium that's going to be launched in a few months' time. So you know what to do. Click that subscriber button.
And do it now, guys.
Make it happen. Well, good morning guys. We are up and early because we had to make a little dinghy ride over to a very near island, which we are at where?
Spinalonga. So this is a very famous island. It's got quite a austere history. It obviously used to be a fort. You can see the fortifications, but since 1903 it was a leper colony, which is very, very interesting. Unfortunately, in those days what they did is they shipped all the people out with leprosy and put them on this island, and there was also quite a lot of unpleasantness during that time because of all the fear and stigma of leprosy. So there's been several books written about this which are quite gut-wrenching, and families were separated, but the people that were here then made a community together, and it is really one of those things that you look back and you think, oh my God, what a horrible way to be treated.
Of course, it was before the discovery of antibiotics, so there was no cure for leprosy, so people knew that once they got to the island that their fate was sealed, that, you know, they would die here and perhaps never see their family again, which was really heart-wrenching.
They suffered both illness and isolation, and the complete knowledge that there was no escape. And it wasn't like a prison sentence where you're going to get out one day. With this, you were never going to get out. It was just an awful sentence to be given just because you were unfortunate enough to get leprosy. Now we know a lot more, but let's go and have a look at the island.
Okay. Imagine being diagnosed with leprosy years ago. Instantly, you're cast out from your town, separated from your family and loved ones. A small wooden boat takes you away, dropping you at an isolated island. Fearful and alone, you face the grim reality that there was no return. You'll never see your family, friends, or community again. Your loved ones too will be shunned, labelled as unclean and contaminated. No one will visit you. Your past life fades into a distant memory. You walk through the dark tunnel in a fortified castle, unsure of what lies ahead. Emerging into the light, you find yourself among strangers, all condemned to the same fate. The despair, isolation, and hopelessness were overwhelming, with no hope of ever leaving. Yet, out of this despair, a community emerged. People banded together, supporting each other, and creating new society. Skills were pooled to build schools, churches, shops, butcheries, bakeries, a hospital, and even a cinema. Leprosy came in two forms, one aggressive, leading to progressive disability and death, and the less aggressive form affecting only the skin. Those in good health cared for the sick, fostering a sense of solidarity. And only with the advent of antibiotics did hope finally emerge for a chance to leave this place. So behind me we have one of the houses, or in this area there's like a little village, a little housing community. And sometimes when people contracted leprosy, they were sent over on their own. And other times their family opted to come with them. So some people on the island didn't have leprosy, but they chose to come with the family member that did have leprosy, knowing full well that they might contract the disease themselves, but that's what they chose to do. So it's really sad when you think about they knew their fate, but they chose because of their loved ones to come to the island with them. It's a bit sad. John used to work in a leprosy hospital in Nepal. I don't know if you guys know that. So for us and for John, it's really close to his heart. This story takes us back in time to the isolated misty mountains of Nepal. 40 years ago, John climbed these same staircases every day to attend the leprosy hospital as a resident doctor. It was like for him stepping back in time. The faces were different, but the disease was the same.
It's getting better.
Okay, great.
So she feels better also.
As we toured the wards, John and myself brought hope and strength for a more positive future as we gently counselled these patients suffering leprosy, even in this modern day.
We'll have leprosy cases coming in on a regular basis, young people, old people. And it is phenomenally sad, mainly because it is curable. If the doctors recognise it early, they can treat it before it causes serious damage. But commonly, doctors miss the diagnosis, don't understand what's happening, and obviously sometimes still people don't come forward to say, I have this problem, because they are not aware of the severity, because when it starts off very insidiously. Skin rashes, lumps, hands don't move properly, those kind of things. So
People come in late, doctors then miss it, the disease progresses, and when the diagnosis is finally made, often there's permanent damage having been done. So it's still a very sad disease, but it is completely curable. You need to take antibiotics for at least 6 months, but it is curable.
It's quite interesting because in India and in Nepal, it's actually quite prevalent.
Yeah, it's very common. It's associated with poor living standards, people cramped up close together. It is a contagious disease, but it's not highly contagious. So, you know, and it also depends on your level of immunity. If you have good immune system, then you're very unlikely to get leprosy, just like you're not likely to get tuberculosis either. But when you're in poor social environments, poor diet, poor nutrition, and cramped environment with lots of people together, that's when leprosy really spreads. It spreads between people within families who are close-knit and very close contact with each other.
Now he's getting better also.
Yeah.
होइन दाइ एकदम ठुलो शून्य थियो नि है ठीक छ
Thank you. And then the hand started?
Yeah, hands become a glove. So that's why he came here.
Then tell him his next job he could be a face model.
Yeah.
Everything else is fine, the arms, the hands and the feet.
सबै कुराहरु ठीक छ है भाइ यो मात्र समस्या everything is fine.
So you have one hand only. That's not good, but everything else is good. You're in the right place. You're in the right place for treatment to get better. So good luck.
So for John and for Les and myself, having visited the leprosy hospital, but John working with people with leprosy, it's quite hard for him to visit a place like this knowing that so many people died, but they were just born too early. It's a bit sad for him.
Anandaban Hospital remains the primary rehabilitation and treatment centre for leprosy in Nepal and India. Direct donations to support this cause can be made to the Leprosy Mission, so please dig deep to help all these unfortunate individuals directly.
So right now we're in one of the little houses. This is a fireplace.
So leprosy is very difficult to contract. You don't just get it. You have to be in close contact with the person for many months in close living environment. So I worked in a leprosy hospital for 3 months. I didn't have to use any protection. I would treat people, I would touch them. You know, didn't have to wear gloves all the time. It's not that kind of disease. It's not highly contagious at all. It's a very slow growing bacteria, which is very difficult to contract, in fact. So you don't pick it up from things. You can only pick it up from the people who have it. The more active and more aggressive forms of leprosy shed the bacteria, so they're coming out of the skin. The milder forms are actually only internal, so you can't actually get leprosy from people with the less aggressive forms of leprosy. Can't pick it up because we're here in a building inhabited by somebody with leprosy, so it's not contagious like people think.
Don't have to worry about us, guys. By touching the walls and being here, we're not going to get leprosy. Actually, when we were back in Nepal in the leprosy hospital where John used to work, he couldn't help himself. He walked around and we were taken around with a guide, and he couldn't help himself. The patients reached out to him, and so he started talking to the patients and touching their rashes and all sorts of things. But he'd done it 40 years prior, and there's nothing wrong with him now. So along here is obviously little stores and shops and things, and the community got together on the island and created all these different facilities for themselves, like shops, and they even created a school. So it's pretty impressive. The government was very supportive as well, so they try to encourage medical help. So every week or every second week, nurses or doctors from the local hospitals in the area would come visit the colony.
Only after 1947.
After 1947, where they would administer antibiotics and help the patients with their treatment. So, and the government was very supportive. But the interesting thing is, this colony was the one that took all of the people suffering leprosy from all over Greece. So it wasn't just this area, but it was kind of the
one place all the leprosy patients were sent to.
Yes, which is, and it's huge.
That, I presume, is a memorial to all the people who died.
Come on, we'll pay our respects.
As we explore the remnants of Spinalonga's leprosy colony, we're reminded of the incredible resilience and strength of the human spirit. Despite facing unimaginable adversity, the people who lived here found ways to endure, to hope, and to connect. Their stories inspire us to confront our own challenges with courage and to never lose sight of the light, even in the darkest times.
Cactus fruit. Not yet ripe, I don't think.
I'm not eating it. Are you eating it?
Have a taste.
Could be poisonous.
It's cactus fruit, honey. Look at that. If you're in the desert, this will save your life, or it'll kill you.
Either way, things will be better.
But remember, we had cactus ice cream in Turkey.
We did. Tastes like guava.
Suck the middle bit.
If I die, I'll kill you.
What's it taste like?
Kind of a blandy guava.
Lots of pips in the middle.
Look at a spike, cactus spike. Follow me up the stairs, he said. It'll be fun, he said.
Okay guys, so this is the bay inside the Spinalonga Island, so 360-degree protection there. We're on the top of the hill of Spinalonga and spinning around, and then that's,
Careful not to fall off the cliff.
that's the ocean out there, and then we come back around to the island that gives such good protection for the water in here, which used to be a place for their ships to anchor in complete protection and then protected from attack by this fort that stopped other boats coming in.
Hi folks, here's an opportunity to crew from Tahiti to Thailand. Very good friends of ours have bought a Leopard 45 and they're wanting to bring it to Thailand. So listen up if you're interested.
Departure date December this year. It's a 7,000-mile crossing. Skipper is Paul Badenhurst, who came with me on the Atlantic crossing, and it'll take about 2 months. This will be an awesome experience for anyone looking to build up their sea miles. So anyone interested, please leave your comments below and we'll forward that on to Rich and Beck.
We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. A heartfelt thank you to all our incredible Patreons. You make it possible for us to extend our help and time to those in need. Together we can truly make a difference, supporting each other on this incredible journey called life. Stay adventurous, and we'll see you in the next episode.